What populations as a whole, when you look at the world, where are the people living the longest and why?
The best one that I'm familiar with is the island of Okinawa in Japan.
Japan is one of those places that keeps you guessing. You think you know it, the high-tech gadgets, centuries-old traditions, incredible food. But then you hear about things like giant keyhole-shaped tombs or entire villages filled with dolls instead of people. It's the kind of place where you'll find the most unexpected. Want to see more? Let's dive in. Number 33. River turning red. On June 27, in Okinawa, Japan, the sea turned a shocking shade of red. No, it wasn't some prank or some murder mystery. A beer factory leak caused this. And even the water flowing into the sea from nearby canals was completely red. It looked like someone accidentally turned the ocean into a giant Bloody Mary. Number 32. Jigokundani. Jigokundani, also called Hell Valley, is famous for its hot springs and the strange boiling water that bubbles all around. It's called Devil Hill because of the constant steam and smoke coming out of the ground. The name fits. There's smoke, heat, and the smell of sulfur everywhere. People visit this spot not just to see it, but also for the hot spring baths, which are said to have healing benefits. And then there are the monkeys. In winter, snow monkeys head straight for the hot springs. They sit in the warm water, which keeps them warm in the snow. They just sit there with the steam all around them, looking super calm. Number 31. Doll Village Nagoro. There's this little place in Japan called Nagoro, but people know it as the Doll Village or Kakashi Village. It's hidden away in Tokushima Prefecture, and honestly, it's a bit of a trip. So the village is almost empty. Most of the people moved away or passed on. A woman named Tsukimi Ayano decided to bring it back to life. Well, sort of. She started making life-size dolls to replace the people. Now, the place is full of them. They're sitting at bus stops, working in the fields, even in classrooms. It's honestly creepy. Number 30. Flying squid. Gliding across the ocean. Flying squid is something special in Japan. You can see them glowing in this deep blue water. These squid are famous here because they glide out of the ocean like tiny rockets. They spread their fins and tentacles to fly for a few seconds. Japan is one of the only places where you can see this happen often. This squid is resting on the sandy ocean floor. It blends in so well you could almost miss it. These squid are built to survive. They hide from predators when they're not flying through the air. Here, we can see squids in action. They leap out of the water and glide above the waves, sometimes up to 30 feet. In Japan, this is a must-see sight. Locals and visitors love watching it because it's so rare and beautiful. Number 29. Himuro Mansion. Himuro Mansion is one of Japan's creepiest urban legends. People say it's a haunted house with a dark past. The story goes that a family once lived there and practiced strange rituals to seal off evil spirits. But something went wrong. The ritual failed, and the family met a tragic end. Now, people claim to see ghosts in the mansion. Shadows move on their own. Some even say you can hear screams at night. Number 28. Poisoning fish. Japan never fails to surprise or terrify. Take fugu, for example, the infamous pufferfish that's basically a death wish on a plate. This fish is loaded with poison strong enough to kill you, yet people still line up to eat it. Why? Because Japan can't resist turning danger into fine dining. Only chefs with years of training are allowed to prepare it. They have to carefully remove the toxic parts. Because one slip-up, game over. Literally. It's like gambling with your dinner, but hey, it's Japan. If they can make eating a deadly fish a thing, they can make anything possible. Number 27. UFO over Fukushima. In Fukushima, Japan, strange white lights appeared in the sky, and it looked like a UFO fleet. The lights are like bright dots, moving here and there, but some are in perfect sync. Groups of 2 or 3 move together while staying close. This is both fascinating and strange. Number 26. Ghost unleashed in kitchen. A normal kitchen turns terrifying in seconds. Plates and bowls crash to the floor, but then it gets worse. A bowl starts moving on its own. Soon, everything begins sliding and falling. The man panics, cleaning up while his girlfriend records it all. As he stands up, a ghostly face appears behind him. She screams and bolts for the door. On the way out, she catches a shadowy figure in a mirror, a girl's reflection staring back. Is it the same ghost haunting the kitchen? Number 25. Keyhole-shaped tomb. The Mozu tombs, also called kofun, are ancient burial mounds in Japan that are over 1,500 years old. Built by the Yamato rulers, these mounds are massive and unique. The largest one, Daisen Kofun, is shaped like a keyhole and is more than 1,500 feet in length. That's longer than 4 football fields and even bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza. What makes them even more mysterious is that no one knows what's inside because excavations aren't allowed. There are more than 40 kofun in Sakai City. These mounds are so large they can even be seen from space. Number 24. The world of yokai. In Japan, yokai are mysterious spirits or creatures from folklore. They can be scary, funny, or even helpful. People believe yokai have special powers and live in forests, rivers, or even old houses. Some are friendly and protect humans, while others cause bad luck. Each yokai has a unique story, like the tanuki, a shape-shifting raccoon dog, or the kappa, a river creature that loves cucumbers. They're part of Japan's culture and pop up in stories, movies, and festivals. Number 23. Japan's Oya Stone Quarry. The Oya Stone Quarry in Japan is one of those places that makes you stop and think, how did humans even do this? It's this massive underground space in Utsunomiya. The walls are perfectly smooth, and the whole thing stretches over 20,000 square meters. Some people even joke that aliens might have been involved. It's just that precise. The stone they mined, called Oya, has been used to build everything from temples to parts of Tokyo Station. Now, the quarry is used for filming, concerts, and tours. Number 22. Office turns into nightmare. Late at night in the office, a woman's peaceful work session turns into pure horror. Papers fall off the desk, and the chairs start moving on their own. Just as she panics, she falls and is dragged to the floor. Something unseen grabs her leg and pulls her across the room. Paranormal office vibes? It's definitely not a normal workday for her. Number 21. The world's shortest escalator. Japan is home to the world's shortest escalator. It's in a department store in Kawasaki and has exactly 5 steps. 5. It's 32.8 inches tall, which is basically nothing. You could walk those steps faster than it takes to get on the thing. But no, they built an escalator. Why? Who knows? Maybe they just wanted a world record. Number 20. Lenticular cloud. Mount Fuji isn't just known for UFO sightings. Its clouds also put on a show. These are called lenticular clouds, and they look just like UFOs. Look at this one. It's a time lapse, and the cloud is perfectly shaped like a flying saucer. What's crazy is that it doesn't change shape, even though the wind is blowing. Are these clouds forming around something we can't see? Look at this one. There's no other cloud in the sky, just this one, perfectly formed and hovering over the mountain. That's rare because these clouds form in very specific conditions. Lenticular clouds happen when moist air flows over mountains. The air cools and condenses into these strange, hat-shaped formations. They don't move like normal clouds. Instead, they stay in one place. It's almost like they're stuck to the mountain. That's why they often form around Mount Fuji. Number 19. Wisteria Garden. Wisteria Garden in Japan is a real-life fairy tale. This garden is over 40 years old and is full of wisteria flowers that hang down beautifully. The colors are amazing, purple, pink, white, and light blue. The flowers form tunnels and canopies, making the garden look magical. People visit between mid-April to mid-May to see the flowers at their best. The garden has been cared for over many years, and you can see how much effort goes into it. Wisteria grows over special structures, creating paths where sunlight shines through the flowers, making them glow. The air smells sweet. Japan never fails to amaze people. Number 18. Disappearing act caught live. Ever had something vanish right before your eyes? A guy is on the phone, casually chatting while a woman sits nearby. But then, as the guy crosses her and turns back, she's gone. No sound, no movement, just an empty chair. Number 16. Food replica. In Japan. Japan takes extra to a whole new level with its food replicas. Walk past a restaurant, and you'll see fake food so real it'll make you hungry. Perfect ramen bowls, shiny sauce drips, even fake steam. It's all plastic, but it looks better than the real thing. Why do they do it? Because Japan doesn't do guessing games with menus. They want you to see exactly what you're ordering before you sit down. And of course, there's a whole industry behind making these plastic foods. No other country does it like Japan. Only they could turn fake food into an art. Number 15. Rabbit Island. Rabbit Island, or Okunoshima, is a small island in Japan that's completely overrun with rabbits. Seriously, they're everywhere. Hundreds of them roam freely, hopping around and begging tourists for snacks. The story goes that the rabbits were brought to the island during World War II for chemical weapon testing, but after the war, they were released. Now, they've taken over. The island itself is quiet and beautiful, but the rabbits are the real stars. Number 14. Elevator Ghost. This CCTV footage is seriously creepy. Two men are in an elevator, just standing there like normal. Nothing seems off, but as soon as they leave, something terrifying happens. In the same spot where one of the men was standing, an old lady-like figure appears. She's just standing there, completely still. You can't see her face, but she's there. Number 13. Cuddle Cafes. Cuddle cafes in Japan are a place where people go for comfort and connection. You pay to cuddle or just be close to someone, but it's not romantic. It's about feeling less alone in a fast-paced world. Some people need a quiet space to relax, hold a hand, or have someone there without saying much. It's simple, maybe even strange, but it's a way for people to find peace. Number 12. Capsule hotels. Capsule hotels are one of Japan's coolest ideas. Imagine a tiny pod, just big enough for you to sleep in. It's like staying in a futuristic dorm. These were first created in 1979 for people who missed their last train or needed a cheap place to crash. Japan has limited space, so this concept made total sense. It's practical, affordable, and honestly kind of fun. Some countries have tried copying the idea, but Japan does it best. Leave it to Japan to make sleeping in a box look cool and efficient. Number 11. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Hiroshima and Nagasaki are names that changed history forever. These two cities in Japan were destroyed during World War II, when the first atomic bombs were dropped. It happened on August 1945. The bomb in Hiroshima, named Little Boy, was dropped on August 6th. 3 days later, on August 9th, Fat Man hit Nagasaki. The destruction was unimaginable. In seconds, entire cities were wiped out. Tens of thousands of people died instantly, and many more suffered from radiation for years after. Buildings turned to rubble. Families were torn apart. It wasn't just the physical damage. It changed how the world saw war. But Japan didn't let this define them. Hiroshima and Nagasaki are now symbols of peace. In Hiroshima, you'll find the Peace Memorial Park and Museum. The Atomic Bomb Dome, a building that survived the blast, still stands as a reminder. Nagasaki also has a peace park where a giant statue honors those who lost their lives. What's amazing is how these cities rebuilt themselves. They are now thriving and full of life. Number 10. Japan's mysterious creature. Two men were exploring a beach in Japan when they spotted something unusual, a bunch of strange creatures sitting on a rock. As they started recording and zoomed in, the creatures suddenly flew away. Curious and maybe a little freaked out, they ran after them and eventually found one of the creatures. It was pink, round, and looked like some kind of squishy ball. They decided to poke it with a stick, flipping it over. That's when it got really weird. The underside started moving, almost like it was breathing or thrusting. Then, out of nowhere, it sprayed them with white liquid. No one really knows what it is, but it's definitely unusual. Number 9. Japan Cat Island. If you are a cat lover and a cat person, then this place is heaven for you. There is a tiny fishing island in Japan called Aoshima, but it's more popularly known as Cat Island. Why? Because the cats here outnumber humans by a lot. Only 22 people live on this island, but more than 120 cats roam freely. Tourists from all over Japan visit this unique spot to see what it's like to live among so many cats. Over the years, cats have become such a huge part of the island that people have given it this nickname. 10 of the cats have been neutered, but they still dominate the place. The cats arrived many years ago to help with mice, but they stayed and multiplied, eventually outnumbering the small human population. Here, we have cats living peacefully alongside humans. Whenever tourists visit Aoshima, they're greeted by cats running up to them. These cats are incredibly friendly and love attention. People bring toys to play with the cats. I would love to do that. Spend the day playing with cats and soaking up their energy. Visitors treat the cats like royalty, bringing them toys and treats to enjoy. Number 8. Deer Bowing. We've seen ghosts, creepy shadows, and all those spine-chilling things Japan is famous for. But hold on, it's not all about the paranormal. Japan also has some of the cutest, most wholesome experiences you'll ever see, like these bowing deers in Nara. Yes, you heard that right. These deer actually bow. In Nara Park, the deer have learned to bow to visitors, and it's honestly the most polite thing ever. Why do they do this? Well, over time, they figured out that bowing gets them snacks. Tourists feed them little crackers called shika senbei, and the deer bow as if they're saying, "Thank you." It's adorable and so uniquely Japanese. But don't let their cuteness fool you. If you're holding food and don't hand it over fast enough, they'll follow you around like little snack detectives. Number 7. Robot Hotel in Tokyo. Forget everything you know about traditional hotels when you visit Hena Hotel in Japan. There's no friendly receptionist here, just robots running the show. From the moment you step in, robotic assistants guide you to a touch panel, where you book your own room. It's efficient, sure, but also a bit like being in a sci-fi movie. The surprises don't stop there. Inside the room, the lights turn on and off automatically, and a tiny doll-like assistant is sitting around. It's not just decoration, but it actually helps you out. Down the hall, rows of vending machines replace room service, and robots deliver things straight to your door. Even at reception, a tablet-shaped robot with tiny hands greets you. They weren't kidding when they named this the Strange Hotel. Number 6. Rotating train seats. Japan is already living in 2030. Their trains now have turning seats. If you don't like facing someone, you can turn your seat around. If you are with friends, you can turn the seats to face each other. It's all about making passengers feel comfortable. You decide how you want to sit. Number 5. A cafe for lonely people. This has to be one of my favorite things in Japan, a cafe for lonely people. If you're dining alone, they won't let you sit by yourself. Instead, they'll place a teddy bear at your table to keep you company. How thoughtful is that? It's a simple idea, but so heartwarming. You're never really alone in this cafe. The teddy bear sits right across from you, almost like a quiet companion. It's perfect for people who don't like eating by themselves. Number 4. The Bunny Cafe. The Bunny Cafe in Japan is exactly what it sounds like. A cafe where you hang out with adorable rabbits. You can sip your drink while these fluffy little guys hop around you. Guests get to pet and feed them. But there are rules to make sure the bunnies stay happy and safe. It's not just for fun, it's also super relaxing. Rabbits make everything better. Number 2. UFO, sighting over Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji isn't just famous for its beauty, it's a hot spot for UFO sightings. Someone recorded a small white dot in the bright morning sky. It's so bright that it stands out, even in daylight. It's definitely not the moon. It's too tiny and too vivid. Whatever it is, it's something we don't understand. Then there's another sighting from 2011. This one looks like a shattered piece of glass hanging in the sky. As someone zoomed in, you can clearly see its strange, round shape. What's wild is that someone else spotted a similar, broken glass object again. How do you fake the same thing twice? Number 1. Inamuri. In Japan, there's this thing called inamure, which basically means sleeping while present. It's not laziness or napping just anywhere. It's more like a socially acceptable power nap in public. You'll see people dozing off on trains and offices or even during meetings. What's cool is that it's not frowned upon. It's actually seen as a sign that someone's been working so hard, they deserve a quick recharge. Japan's got it figured out when it comes to rest. Japan has so much to offer, from its unique history to the incredible things that make it stand out. From fascinating ancient sites to the little surprises you'd never expect, it's a country that always leaves an impression. Now, which one of these weird things from Japan did you find the most interesting? Let us know in the comments down below. We would love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and share. And while you are at it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell icon to stay updated on future uploads. We have a lot more fun content planned for you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.